We are getting married in December. I have never gotten along with my future sister-in-law, SIL. I think she is overbearing, rude, and she thrusts her views down everyone's throat whether it's the right time or not. She is also an off-again vegan, and when she's on, she's preachy and rude, but then you can find a Wendy's wrapper in her car the very next day. I think she is BPD, but her family seems to tolerate it. She is trying to start a catering company, easily the 5th business she's tried to start in the 5 years I've known her. My future mother-in-law, FMIL, asked me if I would consider using SIL business, so I agreed to meet with her. She was rude from the word go. It's one of those things where everything from the word she used to the tone was just rude. She was on a vegan kick, so she didn't even ask me what I wanted, but claimed she spent 20 hours coming up with a menu that my southern family could tolerate. My family is Rancho Santa Fe, near San Diego. No idea where she got the idea we were from the south. What it looked like to me has she scratched some notes on a legal pad and claimed that took her 20 hours. I told her I was really sorry, but I'd always counted on having a great classic dish like duck à l'orange at my wedding and asked if she could accommodate. She said she would not use meat at all. I asked she'd be willing to make some of the hors d'oeuvres, and she said she'd consider it. I thought we were good. That night I got a crazy angry call from my future mill that I had pulled the rug out from my sister-in-law. I explained to her what had actually happened, and Mill calmed down a bit, but after I explained the real situation. Well, now we are in full histrionic meltdown with SIL, and she is claiming that if I don't place my order and give her a deposit now, her business will fold. My fiancé and Mill are caught in the middle and trying to keep the peace. I'm trying to make the point that I don't even think this business will be there in December, and then we will have more family drama trying to get our money back from her. I relented and asked her how much the deposit would be, and the deposit only is twice as much as the total we are paying the professional caterer who is making the main course. This is for some sort of vegan finger food. I asked her what the total would be, and she said she didn't know until the food was prepared. I told her I was sick of her words and hung up the phone. Well, now, since no one has ever talked to her like that, I'm the major idiot in the family. My fiancé, my FMIL, and of course my SIL are angry. My future father-in-law, FIL, is awesome, and he advised me not to back down as I'm the only one with the balls to counter the insanity. Since I'm getting mixed messages, am I an idiot? This just sounds like a bad situation all around. The kind where you might crack under the pressure and become that guy even if you wouldn't otherwise ever be that guy. Exactly what that means, I don't know. You tell me, what line do you not want to cross? Where will you draw the line? The stress is clearly getting to you. Not the idiot. Your wedding should never be viewed as a source of profit by friends, family. If anything, she should be giving you a hefty discount. I would be very firm in saying, I appreciate your offer, but since it's my wedding I want to have some specific, traditional dishes that are meaningful to my family. I also need to stay within a defined budget, and the other offers meet those needs better. Not the idiot. First off, even if it was a successful business and not a startup, I'd argue mixing family and business like this isn't a good idea. You can't really be as aggressive about things or fire them as easily if you know you will have to see them at Christmas. On top of that, she just doesn't sound very serious about this. Some background: my fiancé moved in with me about 3 months ago. She lives about 90 minutes from her family now. She misses her family a lot, but her family hates me for unknown reasons to me. I'll regularly take us to visit her family when we have the time and money, about every 2 weeks. When we visit her family, I might as well not even exist. They don't say hi, they don't acknowledge me. I'm a ghost. I try to start a conversation with them, and they shoot me down with one-word answers. Well, my finance, when we're just about to leave, has a habit of asking if she may stay the night. This infuriates me, as if I knew she was going to do that, I would have just dropped her off. I could have gone home, cleaned up, worked on a personal project, hung out with my friends or family. No, I decided to spend my Sunday being ignored most of the day. So yesterday, we've been hanging out with her family since 11 a.m., and it was going on 8:30 p.m. I have to go to work at 3:30 a.m., and we have a 90-minute car ride ahead of us. Fiancé knows this, but right as we're about to leave, she decides to pop the question without warning me or asking me ahead of time, "Hey, may I stay the night?" When they allow her to stay, I'd have to go home, go to work. Then when I get off work, Drive back down to pick her up, then drive back. I told her, no, before they even gave her an answer. Rude of me. They agreed on no since I was angry and was not going to come to pick her up the next day. We finally start to head out now. As we're leaving, the fiancé is now crying because she misses her family, and I'm an idiot because I did not let her stay. In the middle of going back about 15 minutes out, I slammed the brakes and did a U-turn, telling her I'll take her back and she can sit there for a week until I have the gas to come back to get her. She then decided she did not want to be there for a week and she just wanted to go home with me. Her family has labeled me now as controlling, and I'm isolating her. I take her to see her family roughly every 2 weeks, even though we can't afford it. She has health issues, so she can't drive and can't work. This leaves our money very tight. The fiancé is close with her family. I try to keep a good relationship with them, and I try to make sure she can see them regularly. I can't always keep making 90 minutes trips back and forth though. I drive an old 2000s van that has 209,000 miles on it. I bought it for $700. Everyone's the idiot here. You need to help her move back home. She's not ready to leave. I know you don't want this answer, but it's the honest one. Her family doesn't acknowledge you at all, and they think you have some secret hold on her. Next time, pack her an overnight bag with everything she needs and tell her you don't want her to stay there as long as she needs to. Give her bus fare to come home. Not the idiot. She's not even asking if you want to stay the night, but making the decision for both of you. It reminds me of kids when they ask if their friend can sleep over while their friend is in the room, making it awkward for the parent when they have to say no. You're the parent in this situation, put in an unfair position. Not the idiot. I would institute a new rule. I'll take her there, but then I'm leaving immediately and it's up to them to bring her home whenever they're ready. They've made it perfectly clear that they don't, and won't, like you, and they're rude as hell to you. You have literally zero reasons to go out of your way to make them like you because it will never happen. I'm 15 years old and she's 29 years old, with a daughter almost 1 year old, who I will call S1. I have another sister, older than her by 1 year, who also has a daughter. This one is only around 2 weeks old. This happened an hour ago. 3 months ago, S1 announced she got pregnant yet again, around when S2 was 7 months pregnant. My mom and I traveled to visit S2 in Dubai as she was due in July. 2 weeks ago, she gave birth. Right after she gave birth, S1 announced she'd be visiting us in Dubai for a while. I was overjoyed, as I love both her and her daughter. They also said they would rent another room in the apartment we were staying in. So she visits, and everything went downhill from there. This all started a week ago. I was asleep on the couch at around 9 a.m. as my mom was asleep in the only other bed here. It's a sofa bed, so it was pretty comfortable. Suddenly, S1 barges in with her daughter and wakes me up, then makes me hold her and starts using her phone. Despite being irritated at being woken up so suddenly, I start playing with her daughter. A few minutes later, I ask what she's doing on her phone out of curiosity, and she says working. She owns an online business selling eco-friendly mom products, so I shrugged and kept playing with her. I later found out she was doing something on Facebook. A few days later, I basically felt like the family mule. I would be browsing Reddit, and S1 would say, "Dan, go bring me a can of 7-Up," or "Dan, go to the other room and get me some food," while someone else watches her daughter. In addition to this, I was made to do every garbage-related duty in the house, with no help from anyone else. Keep in mind this includes 2 babies worth of dirty diapers. So, today, she walked in with her daughter, and, after waking me up, immediately started blasting Baby Shark for her daughter to watch, waking up S2's daughter and, consequently, everyone else. I then ended up changing the garbage bags, bringing her 7-Up, washing the dishes, clearing the table for lunch, etc. I hadn't slept well at all that night, which may have contributed to my overreaction tonight, but whatever. So, an hour ago she told me to bring her some cereal. I go up, and as I'm browsing Reddit waiting for her to get ready to sleep, she says, "Dan, stop browsing Reddit. I keep telling you to limit your screen time. You keep playing video games when I'm around." I immediately responded, "You keep making me do everything around the house. You keep making me watch your daughter. You make me do everything for you to just sit and browse Facebook, and you have the audacity to tell me to stop using my phone? Do you know why I play video games around you? It's so that I have an excuse not to watch your baby anymore. She didn't say anything after that. Am I an idiot? Should I apologize to her? I feel I may have gone too far, as she is 3 months pregnant. Not the idiot. If she is just on Facebook, she can get up and get her own drink while you watch the child until she gets back. If the bins are too heavy for them to take out themselves, then they should empty them before it gets that heavy. If she lets you know that she might extra help in the morning, you could probably adjust and help out, but it seems you're just being expected to be available 24/7. So, Mo an idiot, I think. Not the idiot. Your sister is taking advantage of you. If you didn't say anything, she would continue to do so. Some people need to be blown up in order for them to truly understand the situation. If your sister is one of these people, don't apologize. She may take it as a sign that you are okay with her taking advantage of you. Not the idiot mostly, but a lot of your complaints sound like general chores. Doesn't sound like you're even doing much. Of course, her demanding you get her things and babysit aren't cool, but taking out the trash, cleaning up after meals, etc. are just normal helping around the house stuff. I'm assuming your female relatives are the ones cooking and cleaning on top of taking care of children? But you're 15, so one chore is the end of the world. I'm 23. About 5 years ago I got a really nice inheritance from my grandmother after years and years of probate. I am madly in love with this little ski town in northern New Mexico, so I went and bought a condo there. I use it whenever I can, but to make it feasible I also put it on Airbnb. It doesn't really make me any money, but I figure I'm allowing other people to pay my equity, and plus I have an awesome place I can use whenever I want. I try to be generous with my family regarding the condo, but after years of it being on the Airbnb market, I finally had to tell people that I can't accept long-term free reservations. It just happened too many times where all my friends and family would reserve big holidays or whatever months in advance, and then not only would I miss out on the income from those big events, a few times they didn't even show or arrived late or left early. To illustrate how big a deal this is, I make 80% of my yearly income payment over about 25 days of holidays. It's a huge deal to miss out on that income. My sister and I are sisters for sure, but we don't really get along that well. It's even more exacerbated because she blew through all of her inheritance in about 2 years and really doesn't have much to show for it. So my house is a major thorn in her side. In April she asked me if she could reserve my condo for the 4th of July week. I told her I couldn't block it out on my Airbnb calendar, but as long as no one rented it, she could use it. I even looked through my texts, and I even told her when we were talking about this, please understand that if someone rents it last minute, I have to be able to get the income. She agreed to that. I thought it would be a non-issue because the place always rents well in advance for the 4th of July, but this year it didn't. She was supposed to drive up Saturday the 29th. On Friday the 28th I got a rental request for not only the 4th of July week, at the premium price, they wanted to stay on through the middle of September. This is thousands of dollars, which will help me install a new hot water heater. I told my sister that I was sorry, but the place was rented last minute, so I had to let it go to the paying customer. Well, all hell broke loose. She screamed her head off at me, saying that she had made non-refundable rafting reservations, made special arrangements with her ex to get the kids that week, and soured her relationship with her boss for extra vacation time. I told her I was really sorry, but that had been part of our agreement. She said I was an idiot, and our agreement meant that last minute meant like a week prior, not the day prior. I hung up on her because I don't need to be called names. But then I got many calls from my other siblings and mom saying that I was really screwing my sister over. Everyone's the idiot here. I get what you are saying, but honestly, you should have taken it off a few days before. Canceling the day before just not good. At the same time, you warned her, and she was clearly told that even a last-minute rental would boot her. Then it's on her for making non-refundable reservations. I don't blame you for taking the long-term reservation given how much it will help financially. I wouldn't let family reserve it if they behave like that though. Not the idiot, you made it clear that if someone wanted it last minute you would rent it out. If she wanted it that badly, she should have paid for it. I'm sure she can find something else. I don't know about the location, but I rarely have trouble finding last-minute places. You gave her the warning. I think it's okay to be selfish. You were nice enough to even offer the place up. Not the idiot. If she can afford to pay for rafting lessons, then she can pay for a cheap hotel for a bed to sleep in. You clearly told her the conditions, and she chose to still book non-refundable thing. From now on, tell her and the rest of your family that if they want to stay at your place they can book through Airbnb like everyone else. They have been using you for a free ride for far too long. I am a student at the Sorbonne, in Paris, and I'm going to spend next year abroad. Up until last week, everything went smoothly. I aced all my exams and had all my documents. The plane ticket was bought and the only thing left to do was showing up at the university to sign a document, a mere formality, and I had an appointment. When I arrived there, though, the horribly rude clerk, C, told me my department head, DH, didn't send her a personal mail with a list of students allowed to go abroad. I had a printed document signed by the very same DH proving that I was allowed to go, and C could look it up on the uni server, but she said she wouldn't let me have that last document without DH's mail. I could let you have it, but if I start making exceptions, everyone will want one and it's going to be a headache. My plane was taking off the very next day at 5 a.m., so I couldn't just come back tomorrow as C told me to. I explained that and that I couldn't leave the country without that last document, but C didn't care. We argued for a while, both getting heated up, and C told me that I needed to leave it because one appointment isn't supposed to take more than a couple of minutes and I was keeping other students from having theirs. I told her that I wouldn't move without my signed document. I told C to call DH, she refused, so I called DH's personal number myself and handed C the phone. I cannot touch a student's phone, it's against policy. So I put it on speakerphone. To be clear, it was in a big open space, with 10 plus admins in a row of desks filling documents and 100 plus students waiting in line behind me and the other desks, so everyone could hear us arguing with each other, as well as the phone. On the phone, DH said that yes, I can go abroad, she forgot to send the mail but please sign the document. C refused, said she won't make an exception, she needs that mail. DH said she will send it tomorrow morning because she was not at work, and C repeated come back tomorrow, and I retorted that I would be out of the country then. At that point, we were literally screaming at each other, and everyone else, admins and students, were openly telling us to shut up and that we were bothering everyone and slowing down the whole line. Security was called, who in turn called a higher up of the university. Upon hearing everything, the higher up told C to just sign the stupid document, which she did without a pip. She could have done that from the very beginning and just didn't want to, so when the higher up lectured me about making a scene, I refused to accept blame. I eventually left in a huff of rage with my document, and anger hasn't dissipated yet. Overall, the whole thing lasted over 1 hour at least. Not the idiot, I've spent my entire career in higher education administration, and studied abroad myself when I was at university, and there was no reason for this admin to take this attitude with you. After the phone call with the DH promising the email in the morning, and your paper documentation, it should have been a non-issue. That was a power flex on C's part. People who obviously don't like assisting students shouldn't be in higher education. Not the idiot. They were intentionally being rude to you and wanted you to feel this anger you're feeling now. Continue with filing a complaint to their supervisors after you come back. It's unlikely since they seem to have followed the rules, but it's worth a shot and might at the very least give them a headache if they don't get fired. Not the idiot. Good for you for standing your ground. Ignore the higher up lecturing you. An easy solution was within C's grasp. You brought a printed document as proof. DH vouched for you by phone. Why would the higher up think it was okay for you to miss your flight to satisfy her self-important feelings of superiority?